claw marks slashed down her spine and shoulders. The wounds were beginning to show a faint green tinge, confirming her statement about a vampire. He looked at the woman on the floor, and his heart jumped into his throat. "Miss Hughes?" he asked. He'd not seen Hazel Hughes in years, but he would know that head of honey gold hair anywhere. At his mother's suggestion, he had recommended her as a medium to Miles. He quickly squatted down next to her and began his examination. She was unconscious, her clothing was singed, and blood seeped onto Lucy's dress, where she cradled Hazel's head. "A vamp?" He addressed Lucy. "Then we must treat your back immediately. We will need a mix of Abel Firth and Chromaxium. We shall have to rush you to the airfield and head straight for London. I don't have any with me." Lucy shifted, sliding her hand from beneath Hazel's head, and Sam braced the wounded woman's neck. "I have some upstairs," Lucy said, wincing. Sam's jaw dropped, as did Miles's, and he stared at her. "How on earth do you have a supply of anti-vamp? It's all I can do to secure some, and even then I must jump through a series of hoops that make it nigh impossible. I am part of the botany research team. I told you this." Lucy looked down at her hands, which were red and would soon blister, and cradled them to her chest. Sam considered Hazel's singed clothing and realized Lucy must have batted out the flames with her hands. Sam looked down at Hazel. He monitored her breathing and felt her pulse while flipping open his bag with one hand and grabbing a cloth. He gently turned Hazel's head and assessed the damage, while Miles and Lucy began a familiar argument about whether Lucy's brother was entitled to limit her dangerous activities. Sam had thought the entire house had turned in for the evening. What on earth had the two women been doing? Lucy sat back on her heels and winced. Sam turned Hazel slightly to inspect her back where her clothing had burned away. His jaw tightened. He was glad for her sake that she was unconscious. The pain when she awoke would be unbearable. He would need to take her to London immediately for proper treatment. He glanced up at the other two and said, "We must apply the antivamp immediately. Have a ton bring it down, Miles." "No," Lucy said, and struggled to her feet. Miles stood with her and caught her elbow when she stumbled. "I can't have just anyone rummaging through my things. I will do it myself." She paused, looking down at Hazel. "Will she be well?" "I hope so," Sam said, trying to slow the bleeding. "Where is Oliver?" he asked Miles, and reached back into his bag for a bandage he could secure around Hazel's head. Miles told them their friend, Oliver Reed, an inspector with the Yard, had been called to London, and Sam cursed inwardly. Something was happening at Blackwell, and Oliver's calm head and resources would have been hugely beneficial. "Help Lucy." Sam thumbed back one of Hazel's eyelids and shone a light across her pupil. Lucy's face was pale, and a light sheen of sweat had appeared across her forehead. She wobbled on her feet, and Miles, for the first time since Sam had known him, seemed frozen in place. "Hurry!" Sam barked. Miles picked up Lucy and carried her quickly from the library, and Sam hoped they wouldn't be forced to tell Daniel his sister had been killed in a vampire attack. "Miss Hughes?" "Hazel," Sam said, as he secured the bandage around Hazel's head, pleased that the bleeding was gradually slowing. "Awaken for me, won't you?" The blood was a garish contrast to her golden blonde hair, and he winced. He cleared his throat. "I do hope we shall avoid cutting some of your hair away," he said, speaking nearly as much to break the silence as to bring her around. "The wound will require stitching, but fortunately for you, I am quite proficient with a needle." Hazel moaned and turned her head. "There we are. That's a good girl. Can you open your eyes?" She winced and squeezed her eyelids, then fluttered them open. She squinted against the muted light. "Hurts," she whispered. He nodded. "I should think so. Where do you hurt?" "Everywhere." Her eyes were gold, like her hair, and had flecks of green in the irises that magnified as tears gathered. "My head, my back." "I am taking you to a hospital in London. We'll contact your mother and we will get you well." He paused, realizing she may not recognize him. "I am Dr. MacInnes. Sam."